Hello guys. Have you ever got buried in spam and unnecessary emails and missed out on important deadlines? Don't worry, I've got you. I've made this tool called Deadline Notifier. It's a zero conflict fast API application based on LangChain and MCP integrations by Composio. So what it does is whenever a new email comes, it detects it, it fetches the data. If the email message contains a schedule or deadline, it automatically creates an event on your Google Calendar. Doesn't it sound interesting? Okay, so I will just guide you through the whole process and how you can build this project on your own. So for to run this, I have shared the Git repo. You can follow this process to clone the repo and make it work on your own system. You'll follow the same procedure to run this project. So first thing is to go to the Compose dashboard. Yeah, so this is the Compose dashboard. So Composer gives us a lot of MCP integrations. So what is an MCP? MCP is known as a Model Context Protocol. So what it does is, so it gives the LLMs the access or the ability to use a tool and applications which they didn't have before. So it acts like a USB port for AI applications and LLMs. It gives them a standardized way to connect your devices to various peripherals and accessories. So what MCP does is earlier we used to like we need to write different functions and code for all type of integration to the LLMs such as GitHub and Google Drive and Slack. So now it is all wrapped in MCP. We just need to connect our LLM with the MCP and it does all this task for us. So it has made our life easier. So what we are doing in our project is we have an MCP setup which listens to the new email, returns a message ID. We use that ID to fetch the message content. If the content contains a deadline, we create a Google Calendar event. If it does not, it just returns no deadline found. So the process, we go to the Composer dashboard. Composer gives us a range of pre-built MCPs. So for this project, I've used the Gmail and Google Calendar MCP. Setting up an MCP is just a three-step process. Very easy. You go to this button. You click this setup Gmail integration. Just follow. You just put up your email and you connect your account with this. After that, you just need to copy this code and put it in your project. I've already done these steps, so I will skip it. The same thing you need to do for the Google Calendar. I will set up an integration with that. Easy at that. If I go to my integrations, you can see I have already got the Gmail and Google Calendar integration set up. So the next process is to set up a trigger which gets set off whenever a new email comes. I will just go to this integration of mine. I will go to triggers. I can simply add a trigger by clicking on here and I will just enable trigger. So my trigger has been enabled. If I go to my connections, active triggers, you can see I have these triggers enabled for my Gmail. I go to active connections. You can see I have Gmail, Google Calendar setup. I even have integration of WhatsApp and GitHub setup. So it's a very easy process. Okay, so coming back to the code, so this is our code. Okay, so for to run this code, let us go through the Git file. What it says. First thing is get your own API key. If you go to the Compose dashboard, you can just go to this API key to get fetch and generate your own API key. Next process is to run this code Python MCP client.py. It does nothing but just to execute this file. You can run this code in terminal. You can just execute this file directly from here. Yeah. So what it does is it sets up the Gmail MCP for us. It connects it with that. So to know it has successfully executed, you will see a success or enabled message printed in the terminal. While it's being executed, let's go to the next process. Next step is to set up an ngrok server. So we have our an MCP setup. Okay, so success has been printed means our MCP client has been connected successfully. So we have created an integration composite dashboard and now we are running this code. So what connects them? It is this ngrok server. Ngrok connects a webhook and it provides us with a URL which will go and go to the composer dashboard, go to event and triggers and settings. We'll go to this edit and we will replace the before slash webhook part with this. So now our this Gmail integration and the local code base are now on same URL, same server. So now whenever our trigger gets set off, we can see it in a code. So next step is to go and run this code. Okay, so when we go to the app.py, which is the main file of our function of the project, we can see I've set a fast API endpoint uh, as an entry point for code. Now I'll just take the code that took from GitHub. Yeah, so I will just wait. This what it does. It takes a app file and executes it using Ubiquitous, which helps it being hosted as a fast API application. So yeah. So what this code does is whenever a trigger like Gmail trigger gets triggered, it use calls this function that I have defined using LangChain to fetch our message ID, to fetch a message using the message ID. Then it uses that message to set a calendar event. So I will just do a sample execution. I have this mail written over here, which I am setting to this mail. So I set up my MCP for this mail, Satyagupta 305. So what this mail says is that we have monthly data background system maintenance on Sunday 18 July from 10 to 12. So ideally a Google Calendar event should be scheduled for this date and time. So you can just send this mail and go to a code and see how it behaves. See, so our trigger got executed and it returned a message ID. So these are just logs which we can switch off in our codes. I have not switched them off for better understanding. You can go and just switch off the print statements. So yeah. So okay, yeah. By setting this verbose false, you can remove these statements from the code. So what happened was a message ID was returned. After a message ID was returned, see, it fetched the message and it told us that the event date and time. The event date and time went to a yeah. So yeah, this event date and time has been returned. So then it went to our Google Calendar create event agent, and it has success. It says that it successfully created an event, created a uh, event in the Google Calendar on this URL. If I just follow this URL, you can see uh, this an event has been created for 18th of July, monthly data and backup system, and yet this is how our code is successfully executed. So yes, you can see this is how we can make our life easier by automating the process of reading our emails and creating the events on their own. Yeah, thank you.